Hello, everyone, and welcome to the west coast of America, here in California, here at Laguna Seca, the host of the fourth round of the FVR GT Season 4 Championship. My name is Nathan, your commentator for this evening, to bring you the action from this race. Of course, this is the race replay from the race that happened yesterday at the time of recording. We're not going to waste any time and dive straight into how these drivers lined up in qualifying, starting at the back of the pack. I can assure you there are drivers on this grid. They are right behind the camera. It's a little bit of a curve in towards turn one, so we'll be testing my camera skills. As starting at the back of the pack in 14th place is Maurice. He was I don't think he got a good qualifying lap in, actually. He made a couple of mistakes in the 10-minute qualifying. He starts in 14th place, just behind Tim in the Red Bull Nissan. He's got his teammate for company in 12th place. Kino was 1.5 seconds off the pole time, although it was very close from 12th to pole. From 12th to 4th, actually. In 11th place is Evan Dalton. His teammate is a little bit higher up the grid, but he's got the Mercedes of Che Easton that made it into the top 10 with a 1:22.6. Only a tenth quicker was my teammate James Kidwell in the Lexus RCF. He starts in 9th place, and as we work our way into the top 10, it's Ruben in 8th, into the top 8, sorry, Ruben in 8th in the Mazda. And he has Adam Hans alongside him in 7th place. It's Cameron Hill with a good qualifying, his best of the season so far, I believe. It's either that or Dragon Trail Gardens. He starts 6th in the Audi. Then it's myself in the BMW making my way into the top 5. Maurizio Aldwist starts this one in 4th. The two championship protagonists in this race on the 2nd and 3rd row of the grid, but in 3rd place, my former teammate Piero starts 3rd, only 500ths slower than Tyler Davison, who starts 2nd place in this race. And on the front row of the grid in pole position is our reigning world champion Jenson Taylor. Lines up with the lights in front of him, no one in front and everyone else behind. 7 tenths clear of Tyler in qualifying, but to be noted, only 4 tenths of a second separating 4th down to 12th. It was a 1:22.3 for Maurizio Veldwis and a 1:22.8 for Kino in 12th place. That just goes to show how close this grid of 14 cars is, which means at a track that is going to be difficult to overtake at, we are going to see lots of close racing throughout the grid. And with tyre wear being a little bit high, especially towards that front right, then we could be in for an incredible race. Hello, welcome to everyone who is tuning into the live stream, ready to watch these drivers take to the track at Laguna Seca. Pretty much, I think it's driver's circuit, this one. Don't think too many have much quarrels with this circuit. If you would bear with me for just 2 seconds, just trying to make sure the stream is actually live. We are live. Hello, JD. That's perfect, actually, that we are live. So we are just going to give it a couple of seconds. Have I got all the info on the screen? I do now. And, well, we can get this race underway. Actually, no, let's talk championship. Usually I would do this in qualifying, but we do not have qualifying. Let's talk about how the championship lines up going into this race. The top 2 in the championship, Maurizio Beltois, Tyler Davison, separated by only 14 points, 16 separating the top 3. If you didn't check last week's race at Sardinia A, it was the first sprint of the season, and that was won by the returning world champion, Jenson Taylor. He picked up a maximum, or nearly a maximum, of 33 points. What's that? 7 points, 6 points more than the second highest scorer from that race, which was Tyler Davison, which made him leapfrog up into the top 2 in the championship. In terms of the Constructors' Champions, I will tell you about how that is looking if I had it on my screen. But Cabbage Crew do lead the way ahead of BCR Esports, and it's the Peugeot racing team, I can't remember their full name, in third place after a great race last week in Sardinia. But we've gone across the water to Laguna Seca, ready to get this 35-lap race underway. The lights are counting down here at Laguna Seca for 35 laps of this 3.6 kilometre circuit, and we go racing here at Laguna Seca on the west coast of America. It's a great start for Tyler Davison, who leapfrogs Jenson Taylor in the run down towards turn 1. The Peugeot takes the lead of the race by the time we break in for the first corner. It's getting a little bit congested towards the back. That's myself on the inside of Adam Hans. Maurizio Veldwis trying to go right round the outside. He's moved his way up into third place, and it's a terrible start from Piero, who's dropped down into sixth from the second row of the grid. The two Brits in fourth and fifth still going side by side through the opening sector of the opening lap. But it's Tyler Davison with a great start who takes the lead of the race away from Jenson Taylor as they make their way now down in towards turn 5. Anyone looking for a move towards the back of the grid? I hear tyres screeching. That's Ruben, the Spaniard, going wide. They're 3 wide, 2 by 2 in the run down towards turn 6. That's James Kidwell getting ahead of Evan. A couple of drivers running wide. Ruben nearly going off into the gravel. But go up to the front of the field. Jenson Taylor's taken the lead of the race. Round the outside, going into the corkscrew. Away from Tyler Davison. Behind Maurizio Veldwis, looking to try and capitalise on any movements up front. Nearly pushing the Peugeot down through turn 10. But through turn 9, but through turn 10. It's now Jenson Taylor rounding the final corner in the lead of the race. The Audi R8 getting all sorts of out of shape in the background. But through the final corner, the pole sitter retaking the lead of the race as they cross the start-finish line for the first time this evening. Cameron Hill and Shea Easton going side by side in the battle for 7th place down in towards turn 1. The braking zone at turn 2, I believe it's the Andretti hairpin. The Audi late on the brakes and down the inside to reclaim 7th place from Shea Easton. James Kidwell making up a position off the start. Evan as well up into 10th. Kino and Ruben battling for 12th place. The Spaniard trying to go round the outside of the Dutchman as Astro nearly goes wide and into the gravel. Hit allows his teammates to catch back up. It's all getting exciting at the back of the pack, but back up to the top. Maurizio Veldwis under pressure from Adam Hans in the battle for 3rd place. Unfortunately, I am alone in the commentary box this week, but hopefully my partner will be back next week. Maurice looking to go down the inside in towards turn 6, and that was going to be a brave move if he could have pulled that off. The reserve in tonight's currently rounding up the field, but still keeping up with the top 10. This little battle for 11th place has really begun to kick off at the start of this race. And the drivers in the midfield still so close together as we work our way back up to our race leader and reigning world champion Jenson Taylor, about a second and a half clear of Tyler Davison in second. The Lexus working its magic here at Laguna Seca, sets a new fastest lap of the race, a 22.6. That's incredibly quick on a set of medium compound tyres. Everyone, I believe, is on the mediums, apart from Adam Hans, who has started this race on the red striped soft compound tyre, looking to go a little bit shorter than the drivers around him at the start of this race, and hope that the advantage that he makes in his opening stint will be enough to keep him ahead by the time that all these drivers on the mediums make their first pit stop of the race. In terms of strategy, we're expecting a one-stop, but the excessive wear to that front right tyre due to corners like this, prolonged medium speed left-handers really do take the life out of the front right, which could cause a few drivers to struggle with that tyre. We may see them change onto a two-stop using 2 sets of soft compound tyres and going slightly shorter on the mediums. Expect the pit window to be around lap 22, 24 for those drivers starting on the mediums to pit for the softs. Of course, we could see the hard compound tyres come into play, but I don't think we will tonight. There's a car round at the back. That is Maurice. Was there a collision between 2 drivers, or was this an individual error? He's alone by himself going into the corkscrew, one of the most challenging corners on the circuit. Dips a wheel in the gravel, and the Lamborghini Huracan is sent spinning. The only Lamborghini on this season's grid. We've got another spin at the back. That's Evan Dalton off. Everyone is dropping the car here on lap 3. What happened to him as he follows James Kidwell, who has a snapper oversteer on the exit of the corkscrew, down in towards turn 9 and 10. Oh, it just doesn't get shown a lot of room on the outside, and he's spent spinning. And that's a rather aggressive spin for the Irishman, who rejoins in 13th place. Only one man behind him, but someone who's had great pace in the opening 3 rounds this season. Led laps last week at Sardinia A. Will now lose a heap of time in that incident. I'm sure the stewards will be having a look at that after the race. Indeed, I can confirm they are looking at it, because I just said my opinion in this morning. Of course, this race is the race replay from a race that happened yesterday at the time of recording, hence why I am on the grid and also in the commentary box. But myself in 5th, behind Adam Hans in 4th. Of course, the Brits on the soft compound tyre will be looking to make roads in this race, but a driver that has excelled at the start of this race, Jenson Taylor, 22.5 on the mediums. He's got a sizable gap to Tyler behind. It almost looked like the Peugeot took a little bit of air as our race leaders picked up a 5/10 penalty for, I believe, cutting the inside of the corkscrew. He'll have to serve that at the exit of the final corner in the run up to the line. We're approaching the penalty gate now, and we'll lose about a second serving that penalty. That will bring the 3 drivers behind him a lot closer into this battle for the lead of the race. Tyler has got company behind him, Richard Elfwis and Adam Hans both keeping up with the Brits. Then there's a bit of a gap behind to myself in the BMW M6. Piero keeping up as well. Shea Easton, the race winner from round 2 at Saint-Croix, finding himself in 7th place, but in touches of the top 5. Cameron in 8th has struggled with his conversion to the wheel last season, but is beginning to find pace. A mistake from James Kidwell sees him drop behind Kino, now down into 10th place, looking to try and regain his position into 9th. A lot of dust being kicked up on the exits of turn 4 as drivers try to maximise the width of the circuit. Not a lot of room for error here at Laguna Seca, not a lot of runoff, and if you do run wide, you will be running wide into a lot of gravel. Talking about running wide, if you do the opposite and cut the corner on the inside, there are plenty of sausage curbs ready to launch these cars into the air, which can throw you offline. Drivers may be taking it a little bit cautious here at the start of the race, just trying to get a couple of laps under their belt before they begin to push. I'm sure Tyler Davison will be looking to try and push to close down that gap to Jenson Taylor, and also give himself a bit of breathing room from Maurizio Veltwist behind. The championship leader running inside the top 3 has finished on the podium in every race this season so far, and is looking to try and extend his championship lead over the guys around him. Of course, his nearest rival in the championship is myself and Tyler Davison, one of which he has behind, but the other directly in front of him out on the racetrack. We'll be looking to try and get past the Peugeot as soon as possible. Of course, Tyler and Evan picking the Peugeot this season. The only time that we've seen the Peugeot on the FVR grid. It's taken 4 seasons for it to make its debut, but each season we are getting new manufacturers joining the grid, as Maurizio Veltwist had a huge snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 5, before turn 6, and now as they make their way down the corkscrew, turns 8 on lap 6. But the leaders a little bit spaced out at the start of the race. Kino has dropped James and is gaining on Cameron in the battle for 8th place, going through turn 8. It's Cameron in the Audi R8 looking to try and hold on to his position. It's all the 8s here, except it's round 4 of season 4. Put them together, we get another 8. So 8 may be a good number for this race. Cameron, of course, has had a little bit of a slow start to the season, as we mentioned, but had a great race at Dragon Trail Gardens, but has not scored points since. We'll be looking to try and get more points on the board for his teammates Of course, they are in the constructors fight, leading the constructors standings as we watch Tim and Evan battle for 12th place. Evan on a recovery drive. The Nissan GTR spinning on the exit of turn 2. Doesn't keep it out of the barrier. Gets bumper damage and is out of the race. Our first retirement of the evening, afternoon or morning, depending on when you're watching this, of course. But that's another A position gained for Evan in his recovery drive back through the field after his incident on the 3rd lap of this race, with James Kidwell, who's struggling to find pace in this race. Had a great race in Dragon Trail Gardens, as did many drivers actually, but finds himself just inside the top 10 behind Kino in the Nissan GTR. But this battle for 8th place, 4 cars, not separated by much. Likewise, this battle for 5th place between myself and Piero, former teammates of course in the Squadra Italia team from last season, the Lamborghini and the Ferrari, now in the M6 and the R8, swapping Italian power for German power. Piero just having a little look on the inside of turn 2, maybe on the inside for turn 3. The door's left open for the Frenchman to walk on by, but it's the BMW M6 has enough traction, enough grip to hold it on the outside and stay ahead for now. In front of them, Adam Hans is looking for a move on Maurizio Veldhuis, the championship leader, under pressure from the Brit, trying to get the most out of those soft compound tyres, but it's such a difficult track to overtake at. It's even the tyre compound difference is not enough to get past. Evan talking about the football in the chat, I do actually have it on the side of my screen alongside the stats, as for those of you who have finished watching the playoff final will know the results. I'm a little bit disappointed actually, but doesn't really matter, does it? They'll go back down anyway. But enough football talk. We're here for the FVR GT action here at Laguna Seca. The battle on track for 3rd place. The final step on the podium between Maurizio Veldhuis and Adam Hans, going down in towards turn 2 for the 9th time this evening. Adam trying to use the most of those soft compound tyres. Nathan having to defend from Piero in the Audi R8. I think Piero is trying to use the pace that he showed in qualifying. Had a poor start to this race in the Audi, dropped down into 6th place. Is just trying to work his way back through the field. It was only half a tenth off qualifying on the front row of the grid. And as the starting grid here at Laguna Seca is quite small, it's quite narrow, any loss of positions means that you are at risk of losing quite a few. So similar grid format to Mount Panorama, except you're not exactly alongside the car you share your row with. But down the Rahal straight in the run up to the corkscrew. Difficult to spot your braking zone for this left-right section of the track. Drivers though continuing to find lap time here on lap 9. It's a personal best for Nathan Marriott through sector 2. The tyres with a little bit more life in them perhaps as we expect at this stage of the race. Adams are starting to degrade, of course. He is on that soft compound tyre. Will probably be looking to pit in the next 3 to 5 laps, depending on how he can nurse those tyres. He's just dropping off the back of that McLaren in front of him. Piero still keeping up with the back of that M6, which I think is beginning to hold him up a little bit. The gap between myself and Maurizio Veldhuis is beginning to extend, as has that gap out in front. Jensen Taylor, although he's picked up another 5/10 penalty, is extending that gap to Tyler Davison, and we could see quite a dominant race from a reigning world champion here, unless something dramatic happens. We'll have to wait and see how it unfolds. Of course, plenty of mistakes can be made here at this circuit. We've seen some already, and I'm sure we'll see some more till the checkered flag. But through turn 6, once again, a very tricky corner here at this circuit. There's a big sausage curb on the inside, waiting to throw you to that outside barrier and into the gravel. down the corkscrew. This is the closest Pierre's ever been to the back of the M6. He sees an open door on the inside. He's going to go through it. They make contact at the apex. Pierre goes through on the inside. Can Nathan fight it back? No, he can't. Pierre moves his way up into the top 5 and finally gets ahead of the BMW M6. He can now start his attack on Adam in front. But a slow start for Pierre, but he's making his way back through the field in the Vodafone Audi. The Speed Chrome Racing team with 2 drivers now into the top 5. The only team with 2 drivers in the top 5 in this race. I think Adam's starting to struggle a little bit on those soft compound tyres. But towards the back of the field, there's still this huge battle for 8th place in this race. Cameron Hill not able to keep up to the back of Shea Easton, but is doing well to keep drivers like James Kidwell behind him on the racetrack. The Lexus unable to find a way past the Audi R8s, and he's got a Nissan and a Mazda looking to try and find their way past as well. What a beautiful camera angle showing these 4 drivers making their way through turn 5, the tricky turn 6. Cameron makes his way through the corkscrew with James Kidwell right behind him. Both drivers have got podiums in FVR GT before. Cameron Hill picking up his first and only win at Tokyo 2 seasons ago. James Kidwell has got a podium, his last at Dragon Trail Gardens, but is yet to see gold in an FVR GT race. Someone who has seen plenty of gold is our race leader, reigning world champion. Jensen continues to lead and is extending his lead. The gap, I think, 6 seconds at this stage over Tyler. Maurizio now up into the podium position. Adam's soft tyres are beginning to fade, and they're fading fast. He's being caught by Pierre and myself and Shea Easton, who's making roads on the BMW and the Audi in front of him. That gap between Cameron and James has opened up slightly over the course of the last lap. It's now about a second, as is the gap between the Brit and the Dutchman for 10th place. We're in the cockpit of one of the best sounding cars on the grid. Let's just give it a listen. But before we do, a mistake from Kino. The Red Bull Nissan now on the right hand side, now behind the Mazda. As another mistake in front of the Mazda. It's beautiful scenes if you're the Spaniard going down the inside of James Kidwell in towards the corkscrew. That's a beautiful move from Ruben, who capitalises on 2 driver mistakes, and there's another one behind him. Kino's off and in the wall, and he's picked up damage. His soft compound tyres have faded. I think we'll see the Dutchman into the pits at the end of this lap. Just as we were about to listen to this beautiful sound of the Mazda, let's do it right now. One of the best sounding cars on the grid, moving up, making moves in this race. 2 positions in 2 corners for Ruben as someone ran wide. Lots of dust being thrown up on the exit of turn 4. Once again, I think that was Piero just running slightly wide, but it hasn't seemed to affect his performance in this race. He still hunts down Adam for a space inside the top 4, and he's bringing Marriott and Easton with him. And Veltois isn't too far up the road either. We'll have to wait and see what Adam's pace on those softs are like compared to these much less worn mediums. The Mercedes has only probably got another lap left in those tyres at most before we see him into the pits. If he's going this long on the softs, I imagine he is committed to a one-stop strategy and will go on to the medium compound tyres to take him to the end of the race. And from a driver's point of view, actually, the mediums felt like a really comfortable tyre around this circuit. The pace was very consistent, as we can see. Well, it'll be difficult to see with Piero's lap times, but if you look at someone like Tyler's, 23.3, 23.8, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6. Very much consistently around that mid-23. Jensen's picked up a couple of penalties, but still lapping in the low 23s. Incredible pace from the pole sitter. A bird's just nearly flown through my window. That almost scared the life out of me. Imagine that little, don't know if it was a pigeon or what, was wanting to join me in the commentary box. Not sure how good birds are at commentary. Adam, though, defending in towards the corkscrew. Pierre is going to try and work it round the outside. That's an unbelievable move from the Pierre, but he's gone wide, he's gone deep, he's in the gravel. Adam retakes the position there, side by side through turn 9. Adam holds on to 4th place. That was nearly an unbelievable move to go around the outside at the corkscrew. Adams wide again, opens the opportunity for Pierre to go round the outside. We'll try the up and under, go wide, cut inside and get a good run down the start finish straight. These two now side by side, door to door as we finish lap 14 to start lap 15. Pierre off into 4th place, defending from Adam, who's going to try and work it right round the outside. Nathan Marriott looking interested in the background behind these two as Pierre moves his way up into 4th place. Adam down to 5th, now runs side by side with the M6. As Marriott tries to find his way past on the outside, can't quite make it work there. We'll try the inside for turn 4, has a little look but has to back out of it in the end. The soft tyres beginning to fade. I think we'll see Adam into the pits this lap. He's got a little bit deep through turn 2, through turn 5. They're now side by side in the battle for 5th place. The M6 on the inside of the Mercedes AMG. It's late on the brakes, down the inside, but he's run a little bit wide. They've both won right. They're both off. Adam running wider will open the door for his teammate to go through. I think he lets him through. The two pink cars swap positions. It's now Easton ahead of Hans, Piero ahead of Marriott, and Jensen Taylor is into the pits. A time penalty as well for Easton through the corkscrew. That's going to hinder his pursuit on Marriott ever so slightly, but that's a very early pit stop from Taylor on the mediums. Hans is coming to the pits as well. Is this a 2-stop for our race leader? The Lexus is in, the old tyres come off, the new ones go on. No fuel into the back of the Lexus. What tyres? It's the softs. I don't think softs can do 20 laps of this race unless you're driving slower than my nan. He's come out in 7th place behind Cameron Hill. Now this is going to be very interesting to see how this race unfolds. It's not the shortest of pit stops, shortest of pit lanes here at Laguna Seca. I think it's about 22 seconds just to drive into the box. And so this could be an opportunity for Tyler Davison, who looks to be on a 1-stop, for him to take the lead of the race. It's going to be a tough job for Taylor. Fortunately, he hasn't got too much traffic in front of him, but of course has to negotiate it quickly and cleanly. Well, that's one way to do it. Cameron was clearly put off by the aura. Taylor possesses, goes straight on down in towards the corkscrew. Taylor with 1 position gained already, now up into 6th place. And has clean air in front of him before he finds himself with a little bit more traffic. This battle for 4th place between Marriott and Easton. That mistake from Cameron's allowed Ruben to close up to the back of the Audi R8 as they make their way down towards turn 2, in through the Andretti hairpin. It's Hill ahead of Ruben for now. How do the tyres look? Both with similar tyre life left in those medium tyres. They'll be going about 7, 8 more laps, I think, before they come into the pits. Both are slightly wide through turn 3, which is a common theme in this race, of one driver going wide and the driver behind going, you know what, I'm going to follow you and take the same line. Ruben looking for a move on the inside, but just has to back out of it in the end. Cameron stays ahead. And if these two begin to battle, that could allow James Kidwell to make some inroads in this race. That's struggling a little bit for pace is the Brit. has had a roller coaster of a start to the season. Showed great pace in Dragon Trail, and that's a spin for Cameron Hill. Through the corkscrew, he went deep in the lap before. What happened on this lap is very similar to Maurice's spin. Nearly collects James Kidwell. I'd love to see that on board with the Brit. How close was this? We're watching driver's eye essentially. From James's perspective, there's the spinning R8. You've got to have lightning reactions to avoid that Audi R8. It was spinning around in the middle of the track through a blind corner. Does get facing the right way eventually. But a disaster for Cameron, who's now picked up damage as a result of that spin. But meanwhile, our pole sitter, Jenson Taylor, has caught up to the back of Shea Easton and Nathan Marriott in this race, the battle for 4th place. How will these two defend from Jenson Taylor? Well, it almost looked like Jenson was going to go for it on the inside down towards turn 4. Easton holds on for now. Taylor will be trying to get past as quickly as possible to try and keep his lead over Tyler Davison in this race. He's going to go for it on Easton down towards turn 6. He has the inside line. He's late on the brakes. They make a little bit of contact, but it's Jenson that takes the position. He's got Nathan Marriott in front of him. Where's he gone? He's gone deep into the corkscrew as well. What is happening with drivers being ahead of Jenson Taylor and going deep into the corkscrew? Two positions gained in 2 corners again for Jenson. It just seems that whenever he approaches the rear wing of another car, they crumble. And I'm sure he'll be saying thank you very much and is on his way. Cleared air in front of him before he catches up to Piero. Whether he'll catch up to the Frenchman before he makes his pit stop, we'll have to wait and see. But with lap times like a 21.1, incredibly quick. That was, I think, as quick as he did in qualifying. 21.1 for Jenson Taylor, 23.6 for Tyler Davison. 2.5 seconds is the difference between our pole sitter and now current race leader. Is that enough, though, to retake the lead of the race? He ideally has to catch up to Davison before he makes his pit stop. If you look on the track map, one's going through the corkscrew, one's approaching the corkscrew. Of course, this is Jenson Taylor, for anyone who is trying to work it out on the old track map, in the top right hand corner of the screen. And so there are plenty of corners between them, not many cars though. Could be pretty close. We've not raced in Laguna Seca and FVR before. This is its debut in the 4th season of racing, but from previous experiences, the 2-stop and the 1-stop have both been fairly competitive. In the last race I've driven at this circuit, we had a split of drivers opting for a 2-stop, more in favour of that 2-stop strategy. I can't remember which strategy won that race, but Jenson is certainly making it look easy as he's already over the back of Piero. The two teammates, I don't think Piero is going to fight this one. Indeed he doesn't. Pulls off to the left hand side of the circuit and lets the reigning champ go through. And so we're on lap 20 of 15, 16 laps to go, 15 when we cross the line. Our new race leader, Tyler Davison, is leading the race. I didn't really know where I was going with that. Ahead of our championship leader, Richard Veldhuis. The gap between them looks to be about, I have absolutely no idea, we can work out in just 2 seconds. There's about 6 seconds between our top two, Jenson Taylor can see Maurizio Beltois in his sights as he tries to make the two-stop strategy work. He pitted early off of the mediums, now running the red striped soft. Everyone else, I believe, is still on the mediums. Whether they're worn on fresh varies throughout the grid. It'll be interesting to keep an eye on the progress of Adam Hans. He, of course, started this race on the softs, pitted at the same time as Jenson Taylor from the mediums, but will be looking to try and take these medium tyres to the end of the race. He runs in top in 10th place, but was previously running around about 4th or 5th, just about got overtaken on the lap he pitted. But this will be a healthy undercut for him. It's whether he can keep enough life left in those mediums to fight and defend from those on the softs later on in the race. The drivers, though, have begun to spread out. We have lost 2 drivers throughout the course of this race. Our closest battle on the track, though, is the battle for 5th place between Che Easton and Nathan Marriott, the 2 race winners in FVR GT. Captain Chubbs, Che Easton, taking home the victory at Saint-Croix earlier on in the season, but has yet to finish on the podium since. And of course, I got my win from Grand Valley in season 1. And well, we're back in California tonight for the race at Laguna Seca, round 4 of the FVR GT season. And as it stands in the championship with Tyler Davison, I'm sorry, Jenson Taylor's overtaken Maurizio Beltois. It's when I'm too busy talking about race wins. Taylor now up into 2nd place. I was going to say as it stands, Davison is scoring some healthy points over Beltois. Now we'll be scoring 8 more, which won't be enough to take the championship lead. Will be enough to close down that gap to only a couple of points. But these are crucial laps for Taylor to try and close down that gap to Tyler as much as he can, as Beltois comes into the pits at the end of lap 22, trying the undercut on the cars around him to try and bring him closer to the top 2. Piero is also into the pits. Easton and Marriott stay out for another lap on those medium compound tyres. The sun is setting, the headlights are on, and the action is about to explode in the final stages of the American Grand Prix. We have 2 races in the US this season. We start here at Laguna Seca and we finish in Watkins Glen for round number 7, the final sprint of the season. It's soft compound tyres for Beltois, softs for Piero as well. Where do they exit the pit lane? It's a long pit lane exit here at Laguna Seca. It covers the inside of the Andretti hairpin, but it looks like they will come out in clean air. Beltois ahead of Dalton, crucial for him. This could be close between Hans and Piero. The Brit ahead of the Frenchman. Piero has some overtaking to do if he's to claim that position back. He done it on track in the first stint. He's got to do it again in the second. The undercut working so far for Hans. It's a tricky track to overtake. I think we might see quite a wide Mercedes for the final 13 laps of this race. Our race leaders stay out for another lap, but look at that gap getting smaller and smaller between Tyler and Jenson. 2 seconds is the distance between our race leaders. Taylor certainly closing on those fresh soft compound tyres. The reigning world champion on a 2-stop. Davison on the 1-stop. Cars behind them are coming into the pits. Both BCR drivers are in. Marriott ahead of Kidwell. Easton also into the pits with slightly less fuel than the BMW. Could that possibly maybe promote a little bit of a jump in the pit lane between these 2 cars? They both get into the box and around about the same time. Tyres going off of the M6 onto the Mercedes. Fuel going into the back of both cars. Oh, they're both released at about the same time. This could be close, but it's the Mercedes ahead of the M6 as they were leaving the pit lane. But that gap is a lot closer now. Down in towards turn 2. Will Tyler? Yes. Tyler darts over to the left-hand side of the circuit. He's in. Taylor follows him in as well. Both will be finishing this race on the soft compound tyres. They are separated by about 2 seconds. We're in for a showdown of a finale here at Laguna Seca. Moves being made behind. That's Piero ahead of Hans. Let's go back and see how he made the move stick. The Brit running wide through turn 5 opens the door of opportunities for Piero to get the run on the inside. As the sun sets in the background, Piero moves his way up into the top 6. Of course, Ruben and Evan are yet to make a pit stop in this race. Oh, but Adam fights it back. Adam on the inside into the corkscrew. They're side by side once again. Beautiful racing between the German manufacturers. It's the Mercedes of Adam Hans on the inside. Piero trying to hold it right round the outside. Has the inside for the penultimate corner. Adam going to poke his bumper in on the inside. Piero taking a wider line, will get the run through the final corner. Beautiful move from these two in their battle for 4th place. Rubens in off of the mediums, will go onto a set of the soft compound tyres to finish this race. And this could be pretty close actually, with James Kidwell coming down the hill in towards turn 2. You can see the Mazda exiting the pits on the left hand side. This will be close between the 2 cars. But which Japanese manufacturer will come out on top? Rubens ahead, but James has the run. The momentum excelling him into 8th place. He's got the jump on Ruben, but the Spaniard has got the fresher tyres to work with between now and the end of the race. This could be a battle to keep an eye on, as is the battle in front for 6th place, as is the battle between Hans and Piero, and crucially, the battle for the lead of the race. With 10 laps to go here at Laguna Seca. We had it last week in Sardinia. It's Tyler versus Taylor. With 10 laps to go. Cue incoming slip-ups from me. Hopefully in the commentary box and not in the racetrack, on the racetrack. Marriott closing up to the back of Easton, setting a new personal best in this race on lap 26. He's seen the back of that BMW for, the Mercedes for quite a long time in this race. And will be trying to get past as soon as possible to try and close down the gap to his teammates. For the top 2 in this race, separated by less than a second, Davison leads Taylor in this race. Both on a fresh set of soft compound tyres, will be going flat out till the end of the race. Tyler is yet to win an FVR GT race in the main championship. He of course dominated and picked up a double win here at Laguna Seca in the Mazda MX-5 championship. But this is a totally different ball game in these GT3 cars. The Peugeot ahead of the Lexus, going through the Andretti hairpin. Behind all this, there's this battle for 8th place as well that's worth keeping an eye out between James and Ruben. Personal bests lighting up the leaderboards, with drivers on their low fuel, fresh tyres. It's foot to the floor now to the end of the race. One BCR car defending, the other attacking. Marriott still trying to get past Easton in this race, is having a good view at the back of that Mercedes AMG, and up front it looks like Piero is comfortably beginning to pull away from Adam Hans whilst he's on those soft compound tyres. Adam on the mediums, of course, having started this race on the softs. But Jensen is so close to the back of Tyler through the final corner. We now ride on board with the Lexus RCF. Tyler darting over to the inside, defending the lead of this race with 8 laps to go here at Laguna Seca. Davison defends, going in towards the in towards the second corner actually, with a little kink after the start finish straight is technically turn 1 through the Andretti hairpin, and now in towards turn 3. The sun setting behind the hills here at Laguna Seca. It's golden hour out on the racetrack. The headlights lighting up the action for us as the sun sets behind. Davison making sure that the inside is covered going in towards turn 6 before the climb up the hill into the corkscrew. Taylor having a look once again to the inside. Davison looked like he went a little bit deep but manages to slow it down in time. Battle from Sardinia is continuing on here at Laguna Seca. Tyler looking to get his first win of the season, his first in the GT Championship. It's a familiar line taken through the final corner, darting over to the left-hand side of the circuit, defending in towards the first corner and down in towards turn 2. Taylor has a look, he thinks about it, decides to back out and have a look for the outside instead. All this is allowing Maurizio Veldquist to gain on the top 2. We could see a 3-way fight for the lead of this race with only 7 laps to go. Tyler leaves Taylor, Davison ahead of Jensen. Jensen looking to try and make it back-to-back wins for the first time this season after winning last time out at Sardinia A. Behind this, there's this 3-way fight for 5th place. Adam Hans ahead of his teammate Shea Easton, with Nathan Marriott looking to try and get past the 2 of them and find his way into the top 5. It looks like Ruben's just got a bit of a gap to James Kidler, having gotten past a couple of laps ago, but nothing separates our top 2 in this race. The Peugeot still ahead of the Lexus. Jensen trying his best to find his way past. There were nearly 7/10 of a second between them in qualifying, despite starting on the front row of the grid. But there's certainly less than 7/10 of a second between them out on track as we start lap 30 of 35 over the 40-minute mark. About 10 minutes left of racing action before the checkered flag. Someone has dropped it on the exit of 5, and we've got another retirement in this race. I think that was Tim or Kino. It's one of the Red Bull Nissans that have dropped out of this race. We're now down to 11 drivers here at Laguna Seca. Oh, Maurizio Veldquist nearly running wide and off the track as Adam Hans has been overtaken by his teammate. We'll be looking to try and potentially hold up myself towards the end of this race to give Easton a little bit of breathing room between now and the checkered flag. The Brits have been seemingly matched on pace throughout the course of this race. Can the M6 find a way past the Mercedes AMG? Going up through the corkscrew, look at the beautiful sky. This sun is set absolutely beautifully, creating a beautiful atmosphere for these drivers. I was going to try and get on board. Look at that through the exit of turn 9. Oh, Hans has ran wide through the penultimate corner. That could give Nathan Marriott an opportunity to have a look into the final corner. Maybe prepare a run up in towards turn 1. Darts to the left-hand side of the circuit. But the Mercedes stays ahead. The straight line speed of the M6 struggling against the Mercedes. Adam defends to the inside. It's going to have to be round the outside. It's late on the brakes. Can Nathan Marriott swoop round the outside? The brakes are on fire. Foot to the floor. He gets it done. Dips a wheel in the gravel, but that's an excellent move round the outside to move up into 6th place. and having extracted one Mercedes, the other yet to be overtaken. Oh, Davison's gone deep into the corkscrew, but he might keep it. He stays ahead for now. We're on board, but Jenson Taylor tried his best to find a way past. The sky alight for these drivers tonight. Jenson's going to go for it. He sends it down the inside, makes a bit of contact with the back of the Peugeot into the final corner, but Davison still leads. Not long left to go for Taylor to try and find a way past in this race to make it 2 from 2 this season and begin his championship defence. Finds himself 5th in the standings going into this race. Tyler in 2nd, looking to close down that gap to Maurizio Valtois, who runs in 3rd place, the only driver to finish on the podiums in every race of the season so far. Tyler, of course, has finished in every race that he's finished. Fuel light flashing for Tyler, as likewise with Jenson. Look how narrow Tyler is going through turn 9. He doesn't want to open up any doors for Taylor to try and find his way past. This is a brilliant defence from Davison into the final corner. Taylor looks to send it down the inside once again, but this time he's not quite close enough once again to make the move stick through the final corner and the run up to the line. Nothing separating the top 2. Davison defends. It's late from Jenson to try and go around the outside. Can he make this stick? Will Davison give him the room? Jenson making sure he is filling the mirrors of that Peugeot at every given opportunity, with 3 laps to go here at the US Grand Prix at Laguna, Seca. Oh, Taylor's ran wide on the exit of 5, and that's just given Tyler a little bit of breathing space, not a lot, but security going up the hill through the corkscrew, knowing that he might not be challenged down here. But the top 2 have put on an incredible display for us tonight. Let's just have a quick look throughout the grid. The gap between Easton and Marriott is as close as it's ever been in the battle for 5th place. I think Marriott might need to find a little bit more time if he's to find a way past. Kidwell's been unable to close up that gap to Ruben, but the gap between the top 2 as close as it's ever been. 2 tenths between the top 2 with 2 laps to go. Taylor's going to try it once again on the outside. Davison has him covered. Does he leave the door open on the inside? Contact between the 2. The race pace from our race leaders has been nothing short of exceptional. You can see the gap that they've got to Maurizio Valtois and especially Piero in 4th place, albeit that the drivers in the midfield have been squabbling a lot through this race, but the top 2 have been on it tonight. Nothing denying them, but which one will cross the line first? Will it be a first win for Tyler, a 2nd of the season for Jenson? Defending through the corkscrew, they're side by side, the Peugeot ahead with the inside covered. It's incredibly close between these 2. Davison making sure that there's no opportunity for Jenson to get past. Thinking about it, I'm not too sure exactly what I just said. But through the final corner, for the penultimate time tonight, Tyler Davison starts the final lap of this race in the lead, with Jenson Taylor hot on his heels. The top 2 have got 1 more lap left in this race to settle who's going to win this race and who's going to finish on the 2nd step on the podium. Tyler leading Taylor for the final time. Jensen's ran wide through the Andretti hairpin. That might cost him through the first sector. Lap 35 of 35, and all our eyes are on the top two. They don't have many more corners to navigate, but they are some of the most tricky corners, not only at this track, but on this calendar. They both stay well clear of that inside curb, not taking any chances with the sausage curbs. Davison continuing to defend the inside line. He slows it down in time for the corkscrew. Taylor's got to run. Tyler has him covered. They're side by side on the final lap of the race. They make contact with only 2 corners to go. Davison has the inside for turn 10. With 1 corner to go, Tyler defending the inside line. It's a short run up to the line. Davison looks like he might get it. It's a photo finish. Who's going to get it? Tyler's run out of fuel. Jensen wins here at Laguna Seca. Hard break for Davison, who ran out of fuel in the run-up to the line. Veldhuis finishes in 3rd place and makes it 4 podiums from 4. Piero will finish in 4th place. A solid recovery from him in the battle for 5th. Easton beats Marius. The Mercedes ahead of the M6 in 5th and 6th. Adam tried to make the alternate strategy work, and he scored good points in 7th place despite running in the top 4. Ruben weaves across the line in 8th place ahead of Kidwell in 9th, and Evan Dalton recovers to a finish in the top 10 after his incident with James down at turn 10 on lap 3. And the Irishman will score a point in this race ahead of Cameron Hill, who dropped it on the corkscrew at the halfway point of the race. And the Brits are unable to show off his great qualifying pace. But a great race with a dramatic ending. Davison running out of fuel. Let's watch that back one final time. I was too slow to stop the replay. But this is the final lap, the crucial, the defining moment of this race. There's the contact between the 2 leaders as they run side by side. On board with Jensen Taylor in the Lexus. Tyler beautifully defended. He had the run up to the line, and in a minute we're going to see that Peugeot drop off. There it goes, getting smaller and smaller in the mirror as Taylor claims the victory at Laguna Seca. What a race, what an end. And it's won by the reigning world champion. Jensen Taylor makes it 2 from 2 after winning the feature race in Sardinia. Tyler picked up the sprint in that one, but caught the short straw in the feature. Finishes 2nd again tonight here at Laguna Seca. But Maurizio Veldhuis, he's made it 3 consecutive 3rd places in the last 3 races. Won't be extending his championship lead, but the top 3 in the race. Now the top 3 in the championship. A poor result from, well, myself in 6th place. Not a bad result, but dropping points now out of the top 3. Perhaps, no, I think I still have 3rd place. I'm not too sure. I'll have to calculate the standings. Hello Jackson in the chat, welcome. You've just missed the race. We've just finished, unfortunately. But go back, check it out. It was a great 50 minutes of racing action from all 11 drivers that finished. We did lose 3 during the course of the race. They didn't die, they just retired. But that is the end of the American Grand Prix. And I'm going to leave you. I usually leave you with a race winner, but I'm going to leave you with the beautiful sunset pictures that we captured throughout the course of the race. I only got one of me, unfortunately. I did get one of every single driver that made it to this stage of the race. Go check them out there in the Discord. Absolutely beautiful scenes at the end of this race. Where are we racing next week? That is a great question. It's the 2nd sprint of the season at Spa-Francorchamps, the Belgian Grand Prix. Make sure to go tune in, same time, same place. My name's Nathan. Hope you guys have enjoyed I'll see you guys next week. Can Jensen mount his title defense? Will Davison or Veldhuis be able to stop him? We'll have to wait and see. See you guys next week. Goodbye.